Alright, so when we last left off, I had just created a video and hopefully you've watched it now, of how to actually think through and annotate and analyze a document. Right, so just to really quickly recap, we have the contextual information, which helps us to understand the issue or event from the time and what the source is responding to. In the black, we have just basic observations of what we notice about the features of the document. And then the red is what we think about it, right? What we think it means, the meaning that we infer about the different features. And the way that we come to this meaning, this red text here, is by making a connection between the contextual information and the observations that we've made. So now what I'm going to do is show you how you can actually write up an analysis of this. By the way, I realized from my previous video I didn't show you how you could access this, so I'm just going to show you quickly on Teams how you can get to this OneNote, this class notebook. So all you need to do is click on your Teams, go to Year 10 History, and in class notebook here, it should come up with this. You can see there is a little arrow here. You click this, which opens the navigation panel, and each of you should have your own individual notebook. If you click on it, so I'm clicking on Abby's, you can see that you've got 3 separate folders essentially, okay, in which you can actually post things, and I can see those things, but no one else from the class can. I have more access, so I can see everyone's, but you can only see your own. But you can also see this thing called the collaboration space. So if you click on that, every single person in the class has access to this. So you click on the collaboration space, you click on using the collaboration space, and you can see here, if you click on document study practice, you've got the thing that I have shown you and I was working on before, and everyone can access this. Okay, everyone can also edit it, but can I just ask you, for the sake of using this platform appropriately, that you don't edit something in the collaboration space that someone else inputted, right? Unless, of course, there are explicit instructions to do so. So you can see that I've got another page here, writing document study analysis. So I'm just going to click on this. I'm going to full screen it by clicking on this section. So I've written one up here. Just before we begin, here are the 4 things that your analysis should include. So it should include some information about the relevant context. You should include what, how, and why as well. So the red, what, is the overall message or purpose of the document. That essentially becomes your topic sentence. The blue, the how. How has the creator conveyed that message or purpose? What you want to include is your observations of the features of the document and the techniques used by the creator. And the green is why. Why has the creator included those features, which is the meaning you infer about the features of the document. Okay, what do those things mean? What do you think about those things? I just want to point out really quickly that the kind of thinking that we're doing here is essentially like when we use peel the fruit in class, where we see, that is, we see how the creator has conveyed that message or purpose, the features of the document. We think, which is the why. Why has the creator included those features, the meaning you infer about the features of the document. And the heart, which is what is the overall message or purpose of the document. So I've color-coded it here so you can understand this paragraph and understand the different features of it. So I'm just going to read it out and quickly talk about the different features, and then you should be able to practice your own. So, the message of this political cartoon is that the Allies are completely defeating and finishing off the Germans by forcing them out of peace discussions. That's my topic sentence. That's what I think is the overall message or purpose of the document. During the Paris Peace Conference in 1919, the Germans were excluded from the peace talks after World War I. The resulting Treaty of Versailles contained no input from the Germans, and they were forced by the Allies to accept it or face destruction from the war continuing. The Allies included the USA, UK, and France. I should capitalize this W because I'm referring to World War I. So what I've done so far is I've included the overall message or purpose of the document as my topic sentence. And then I've also included the relevant context, which helps us to understand what was going on at the time that that the document is responding to, okay, was written or created in response to. So the remaining part is the actual analysis that shows how I came to an understanding of this being the overall message or purpose of the document. So all I'm doing here is I'm putting my observations and the meaning that I infer into written form, into a coherent written form. So the large hand pushing the man represents the allies. That is a feature that I've observed from the document. And the size of the hand suggests that they are powerful, right? That's what I think about the feature. That's the meaning that I infer from the feature. However, we can also see that the hand is only using 2 fingers to push the man to the end of the board. Again, another observation, suggesting that the allies have gradually been pushing the man to the brink. That's what I think it means. The man represents Germany, and we can see from his posture and facial expression that he is nervous and unwilling to jump off the board. The creator intends for us to think that the Germans are anxious about whatever they are going to face next, as a result of being pushed out of the peace discussions represented by the board. They face an uncertain future. Again, the meaning that I infer from what I observe. Whatever this is, we know from the title, The Finishing Touch, again another feature, that from the creator's point of view, the Allies' way to finish off Germany is to give them no say over the terms of peace. Right. So again, this blue and green part shows how I came to the conclusion that this is the overall message. Okay. Now, it doesn't have to look like this, your answer, your paragraph that you write, but it does have to have these 4 features in there. And obviously it needs to be written in a way that's logical and it makes sense. So for myself, this is how it best makes sense. You may want to include this at the very end and just begin with the context and your analysis and actually finish off your paragraph with the overall message or purpose. It's up to you. You might want to integrate bits of the context into the blue and green, right? You might find that easier. It might make more sense to you. Either way, this would be able to get you the full 8 marks because you've got 1, the overall message, you've got some of the context, and you've got an actual analysis, your observations and the meaning that you infer. All right. What we're really looking for here is a good understanding of this and your ability to be able to connect the context to the actual features of the document. Right. So depending on the document, for this one I would break it down as 1 mark for the overall message or purpose, right? 1 mark for knowing the relevant context, and then 6 marks for the actual analysis in and of itself.